because his voice is not enough. And so you speak louder, somehow this makes you feel a little unnatural.
Yeah, I think that's a problem.
I think that you could personify women and water as having, comparing and contrasting them as having very similar things. A woman, in her idealistic sense, you could suggest is very sensuous, as water is. You can suggest a woman runs hot and cold, much as water often does. You can suggest that life in its largest scope could not exist without women, much as you could not exist life as we know it without water in several scopes.
I think it's a sexist comment.
Why?
Because water is everywhere. It's sensual. It's silent. It doesn't think. It's just ubiquitous, and that's what women are supposed to be, ubiquitous. It's not like women are physics or women are great films. I mean, that's the most blank thing you can say about women is women are water. You should say men are water. That's what I think.
We are water, I feel. We make the flowers grow. I don't know, women in the moon in the waves, we all relate. That definitely makes sense. And I can't, see, that's why I'm not articulate. I can't explain a lot of things that I feel.
Water is one of the expressions of life. Probably it's just because water made life and life made love. And water expresses life and life expressed love in the first place. Something like, life sprang out of water and then love sprang out of life. And then water is the quintessence of life in a sense that you can see all the feelings of life, all the nuances of life, the little tints around. And they are there in the water's motion. And the same thing, if you could look at the sea and then see yourself, see your inner world, like water.
I think why woman in water? I mean,
Does that make sense?
Better stay here with you, huh?
everybody can be in water.
Do they have a message machine?
I guess that has a sort of
I'll give her a call.
ironic connotation. Like a woman is always trying to save herself from something, escaped, or asking for rights, or what is that exactly means for you, water and woman?
The amniotic fluid, when there's a break, we speak of your water bag breaking. And so that would be a sign of birth. Time to call the doctor. Probably dash to the hospital.
Well, where are you headed with her? Where are you headed? What kind of things do you want out of the video? I mean, what kind of connections can you make with women? Tell me what.
I'm ready to shoot just about anything at this point. I basically finished the tape, and I've looked at it, and I need something to put in here at this point, and this is it. I'm tired of playing with all these bits and trying to fit them together and trying to figure out all the nuances and inflections of my tone of voice and all the meaning they might have. So I'm just going to say it. I want to show you a picture of myself. I want to set you up for something. I want to show you the ropes of the machine, but keep some of the ropes hidden too. I know what I'm trying to do with this tape. I know what my motivations are, basically. I know what I want you to see. But I feel awkward in explaining what I mean. It makes me feel weak and vague. So, I'll let you guess.
Most other people are a projection of a part of myself, and I attract them or they attract me so that I could learn about that part and somehow evolve and move on.
And I think it's important for people to think about what they're doing. I mean, you don't, one of my housemates' expression is date the world, is what she's doing now. She's dating the world. So it's a different woman every night that she's seeing. And I think that requires some thought. She might think about what she's doing and in what ways that's serving her and in what ways it might not be. Now, how does that relate to feeling? And I have this sort of notion about myself that, yes, I have this, wonderful analytic mind. I mean, that's what you go to Stanford for, it's what you go to grad school for, is to develop those sorts of capacities. But that doesn't mean that you have to be out of touch with your feeling, and it doesn't mean that your feelings aren't driving you in some much more fundamental way. I think, if anything, the analysis is a way of understanding what's going on with the feelings. It's not a way of denying them or manipulating them or making them into something other than they are.
I think the thing about relationships is there's no such thing as love, really, but that what makes a relationship work is that the person starts looking like home to you, that you almost can sit up by the fire and they are the fire. You pull up a chair and it's home, it's cozy, you know the place. You just know the place. And it takes years to do that. I've done it twice. And I look at the men now and none of them look like they even could be home to me.
For me, in Europe, the woman is supposed to be still the object of desire. Aesthetically, she's an object of beauty in a sense. She has to be desired aesthetically for what she represents. And she's the object of sexual desire as well. And I think the major trend is, even though things are changing very much and probably things are different right now back in Italy, but she's supposed to be a weak element to be cared for. And I think this gives the male, or the stereotype he has to live with, security. He's the strong person who has to take care of something, of somebody. And so this gives self-definition for himself. It makes him feel strong in a sense.
Can I say fuck in this kind of a thing? Okay. So anyway, I wanted to say that. Now we can go back to relationships. Okay, I'll start with male-female. There are a couple of rules in male-female relationships, like boyfriend relationships is what I mean. Sexual romantic relationships, not just regular boyfriends. The first rule is that you can't have zits. And the second rule is that you can't be fat. And the third rule is that you have to do something wonderful, either make a lot of money or do something that's real different than everybody else that gives you a mark of distinction.
Because we always woke up in the morning and my dad said, "So tell me your dreams." And so we'd tell him our dreams, or we'd make them up. And then he'd say, "You hate your parents." And I'd say, "But I don't hate you." And then he'd say, "But you're resisting. Of course you hate your parents, you're resisting." And so if I agreed that I was hating my parents, or I disagreed, I lost either way. And that's a pretty heavy lesson as a kid, I think.
Sure, there's an ideal man, but he doesn't exist in real life. There's ideals that a person can have, one of which is to rid the earth of flies. While ridding the earth of flies would be very, very nice, it would probably disrupt the food chain, and probably the same thing that if any given person had what they thought was the ideal man, wouldn't work for them, because what is the old saying? If don't ask for something, you might get it. If you get what you ask for, quite frequently, that's something like a spa. We wanted to win this spot, and we won this spot, and we just certainly got much more than we asked for. And after having won it, we discovered that there was other ramifications of owning it, such as buying the cover, such as buying the deck, such as building the roofing that goes over top, such as rewiring the entire house to deal with having a spa that works. And I think that's probably the ideal man is very much similar. You know, if you ask for something like that, an ideal person is somebody you no longer have to make compromises for and work with in the real life. And you'd probably have a heart attack and drop dead.
It's me again. And I just want to say that I have this problem with women in that they won't sleep with me. Now, okay, it might be my fault, idiosyncratic, whatever, shyness. But what happens is I'll want to be their friend first, okay? And so what happens is I'll find this woman I like, I'll be her friend, and then that becomes such a novelty to a woman to have a man as a friend that to sleep with me would be to violate some sort of sacred trust. I'm trying to get hold of a feminine quality, a female strength that is female but not effeminate. To do it, to name it, maybe makes it more mysterious when it should, in fact, demystify. So I won't run into that problem. Trying to name something, it becomes unnameable. One thing my friend Carol said to me was the only reason women keep men around is to have something to talk to other women about. Your girlfriend said, oh, okay. Are you all framed? All right, bye.
Okay, ciao. Hi.
Hi.
Have a good margarita.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
God, that jacket looks silly.
Go to Mexico because we live in the tickets.
Huh? So we went to Mexico together and didn't stick together in Mexico, or didn't? I don't know. I think I seemed exaggerated on tape.
Really?
That the mannerisms seemed even. I mean, I can't believe that they're that. The gestures are that. The mannerisms are that strong or that apparent. They don't look kind of exaggerated. You saw it.
You look professional.
Well, it's because he didn't film me in the bathtub. He filmed me in the Sock Institute.
In the Sock Institute.
But maybe.
What do you think, Nadia?
He's making a shitty video.
He's making a shitty video?
Yeah. Precisely.
I'm having an affair with a woman.
You are?
Beth. Yeah.
It worked out?
No, it didn't totally work out, but she's coming here because she lives here. And we have it all set up.
You haven't done it yet, though.
We've done. She felt me up.
Oh, that didn't count.
That counts. We slept in the same bed.
Marcia had a, but she didn't that's unconsummated.
Okay. C-O-N-S-U-M.
No, C-O-N.
I'm looking for the Spanish definition.
C-O-N-S-U-M-A. No, one M.
Double M.
One M.
Really?
One M. Consummate, right?
I would have guessed too, but I'm already slightly drunk.
I have a summa cum laude. So I think 2 M's is the way it's
You want to
spelled.
make a bet?
Yeah.
Well, I sit in line, Nadia.
If she were totally violating the frame, she'd sit in front. But she's not doing that, so she's only partially violating the frame.
You have to come back in the frame, Nadia.
I don't want to.
She doesn't want to.
I don't want to be forced to do something I don't want to.
That's true. Okay.
Got a lot of gray.
I know.
This is the way I normally talk with Carol.
That's true.
It could be.
They're going to think we're little adolescents.
Wait, it's Anna's turn to wear the jacket.
No. Oh yes, my turn.
That's right. No. Okay, but I have to try something different. I tried on Goober's jacket.
Carol filmed me with some jerk.
I want to show my new size boobs. I've never had such big tits in my life. Look, though. This is how I've changed since Finke.
You're furry.
Oh, you want to see it? My legs are partially shaven.
I got fur.
I've got fur too.
Oh, wow. You've always had fur.
Oh, well, not always. I last shaved when I was a freshman in college.
You're kidding.
So this is
6 years of growth.
And Martin doesn't mind?
I never asked him.
I love it.
Actually, I need lotion. No, I mean, I could take the longest strand. Look, everybody find the longest strand and pull it off. No way, that's mutilation. Come on, you can measure it. You can measure it passively, right? Okay, here we go. Every fingernail. We got these the same. Okay, this is the. I say this is the longest one. I don't know.
All these women know one another. For instance, there's Nadia, and she's a Greek woman, and she left, and she's the one who's talking about life. She's the roommate of Carol, who's the one in the middle of the three women, and Carol's best friend is Marcia, who was sitting on Carol's right, and Marcia was on the bridge, and on Carol's left is her sister Anne, that's her little sister, and she's from Stanford. Carol, of course, you saw in the bathtub. There's another sister of Carol's, and it's Kayley, and she's in the bushes. And then Carol's mother is the older woman who you've seen. There's Helena, and she's a friend of Carol's, and she's by a drinking fountain. And there's Annamaria by the model yacht pond, and she's Nadia's friend. So all these women know each other, or they're roommates together, or they're related to one another. Let's see, and how do you feel about being single? How is that for you?
It's lonely.
Yeah?
It's also freeing, in that I can do what I want to do and not have to adapt to somebody else's needs. Though being a couple was nice, I'm very used to being by myself, and the thought of having to accommodate to somebody else, to learn the 101,001 things about somebody else, it's really scary.
I mean, it seemed like I grew up in a family where two things were important. You know, it's important to accept your feelings at whatever they were, and it was important what the intensity of feeling was, so that if my sister wanted that piece of cake 10 times more than I did, she got it. I mean, so there's some attention paid to both feelings as feelings and the intensity with which you feel them.
I'm always a sad person. It's not because of relationships. Still, if it's true, if I find a relationship that I think really works for me, I might let go of some sadness. But I'm not going to blame it on them, my sadness. I'm a melancholy baby. Not real good girlfriend material.
What kind of women and what kind of water, you know? Little ice cubes, the Amazon, the ocean, you know, and which woman? My sister, me, my friend Jeannie. There's just so much variety in each.
There is something very incredibly wrong about this tape. What we have here is a bunch of very articulate women stuck in idyllic, kind of contrived settings, and then are told to babble on and on and on about love. And all these women are academics. This woman is a psychologist. This woman is a philosopher. This woman is a computer scientist. This woman is studying literature. This woman is studying neuroscience. They're almost all getting their PhDs. And to have them babble on and on and on like they're the locus of love is very facetious. It's sort of obnoxious. If I was to constitute myself on video and very quickly, quick and dirty, I'd say I'm a composer and I write music. And I live at UCSD and I work between music, viz arts, and communication. And there's no way to do that in the bureaucracy, so I'm always engaged in enormous power struggles. I have a very serious back injury. My network of women friends is falling apart. I have a family of women, and I feel estranged from them quite often. I have 2 stale old boyfriends and a relationship with Alan. But what I resent about this video is that more than anything, I live in the world of power and work, not as much in the world of relationships. And you can't constitute me on video. There's this silly picture of me. It's really absurd. I don't even look like that at all. And I don't want it. And I won't keep it. And I just don't want it.